somebody else's, Don.
The State Senator from Kensington, Kansas. The car is driven by Wayne Ryan Olson, the 1962 Cadillac convertible. 1.5-ton Ford truck, equipped with a 6-cylinder engine and 3-speed transmission. It has been completely restored to its originality, including the paint color. It is owned by Tibbetts Fisher of Belleville, Kansas.
Just a lot of chicken, because he was supposed to come over and sing last night for our fun night, and his sister couldn't talk him into it.
Again, the MCK Shrine Club, Blue Patrol motorcycles. These Shriners benefit the Children's Hospital in St. Louis, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and other parts of the U.S. Let's give the Shriners a big hand. That's George Chase in our own North Central Kansas Shrine Club car. George is jacking the car up. That's the Fun coach driven by in a 1928 Model A Ford. Gary's from Jamestown. I don't know if this is his first year on our trip. Next we have a 46 Plymouth Club Coupe. It is driven by John Smith.
And I have known John for a lot of years, and that is his wife in there with him.
Next we have a car driven by Arthur Williams from Cuba, Kansas. He is in a 1963 Chevy Impala. Next we have a car driven by a local owner, Jim Lumblade. He is in a 1919 Model T Roadster. Jim Lumblade. Robin Carlson. Robin is the daughter of Robert and Jan Carlson from Earl Formosa. The car is owned by Jerry Jelinek from Munden, Kansas. Connie Aspergen is the driver of the car. Richard, slow that thing down, buddy. Next we have Amy Moore, second runner of Republic County Junior Miss. The car is owned by Karen Johnson and driven by Hot Rod Richard Cox. Next we have another local car. Owner is Herb Johnson. Herb is the driver. The ridee is Greg Johnson. Herb and Greg are in a 1950 Ford. Formosa, Kansas. It's owned and driven by Taylor Clark. He is in a 1955 Chevrolet. Riding with Taylor is Edna Ruth, his wife. Next up, we have the Republic County Junior Miss, Miss Sherry Day. She is from Belleville. The car is driven by Maurice Gabar. Sherry Day, Republic County Junior Miss. Liberty Bell float. Drivers are Richard Frost and Jay Russell. This float is sponsored by the Swedish American State Bank.
You kids down along the street, back clear up to the curb. Back up, Clarks.
1921 Model T, driven by Myron Reed. Passenger is Aline Householder. A 1921 Model T. Next, we have a semi-tractor trailer. It is in the parade for United Grain. Elevators in India, Courtland, Rydal, and Formosa. The driver is Bob Bird. United Grain. Next we have the coal mine float. Pulling the float is Kevin and Brian Horde. Tara and Paige are riding on the float. The gold mine float is sponsored by Ford Oil, L.E. Garmin, and Nondorf Grocery.
I thought we had enough of Dean last night, Tara.
Next we have Ron Aspergen, his Golden Harvest float, Golden Harvest Seeds, MC Plus, Courtland Journal, and Johnson Insurance. Golden Harvest is Ron Aspergen, MC Plus, Brian Freeman. And again, the Courtland Journal and Johnson Insurance are sponsoring this float. Riding on the float are the Kansas State cheerleaders, Dean Robbins and Tara Colgren. We'd like to thank them for being in our talent show last night. They did an outstanding job, and they even brought Willie the Wildcat. Tractor pulling the float is compliments of C&W Farm Supply. Next we have a 1955 Buick. It is driven by Wayne Dunn from Haddam, Kansas. As you can hear the Pike Valley Band coming down the street. Since we have a little bit of time, I'd like to announce the Fun Run winners. The 4-mile overall winners, the winners of the 4-mile run. Male division, Tim Blecka from Superior. Female division, Carol Ward from Kansas City, Missouri. And the 1-mile overall winner, male, Richard Cox from Courtland. And Kristen Reed from Manhattan. We'd like to thank everybody who participated in the fun run. Hope to see you in it next year. Here we have the Pike Valley Band, combination of junior high and high school students, under the direction of Mr. Paul Chaw, one of the outstanding 1A bands in Kansas High School.
Let's give him a good hand and Paul Copper too. You did a great job, Paul.
in. It is 1930 Model A Ford four-door base. Next we have the Willing Workers 4-H from Formosa. Children dressed in foreign lands. Club project is people to people. The banner reads, 4-H reaches people to people around the world. Bob Allen is on the float, the 4-H float. He is a leader of the Jewell County 4-H, and he's been a leader of their 4-H for over 30 years. Next we have the balloon float. The balloon float is sponsored by United Phone Systems, Bachelor Faulkner Dart Funeral Home, Chase Service, Honyo Beck Clinic, and Honyo Trailer Sales. Pulling the float is Ed Wilkinson with United Telephone. We have a vehicle representing the depot market and the cider mill located just north of Courtland on Highway 36. The car is owned and driven by Dan and Carla Kuhn and family. Stop out for their famous cider slushes. It is owned and driven by Keith Sills. He sells in his family in his 1963 Chevy convertible. Next, we have a 1960 Ford Starliner. It is owned and driven by Jim Snyder from Belleville, Kansas.
Jim's been over here for a lot of years, too. Thanks a lot. Come back, Jim.
Next we have a 1938 Chevy. It is owned by Doan Sells. Driven by Dan Wilbur from Belleville. A 1938 Chevy. Next we have State Representative Bill Bryant from Washington. Riding with him is his wife Gracie, children Scott and Rebecca. Nice to have State Representative Bill Bryant.
Don't let her do all the...
On the horse Bunny, Brenda Stafford and Rachel Wall-In. Riding alongside on the horse Easy is Jubilee Southern, Desiree Pearson. Next we have Mr. Dean Walker on his quarter horse. He's from Scandia, Kansas. That's his grandson Jason Swank from Sacramento, California on the other quarter horse. Glad to have you, Dean and Jason. Next we have a 1930 two-door Ford Model A. It is owned and driven by Lauren Fahlgren. A 1930 two-door Ford Model A. The next vehicle in the parade is a 1929 Model A. It is driven by Marilyn Arns and owned by Glenn Arns. Riders are Jeremy Van Rossum, Stacy Nondor, and Todd Wynn. 1929 Model A. Next we have a local car, owned and driven by Mr. and Mrs. Gene Spittler. They're in a 1919 Model T Roadster. Mr. and Mrs. Gene Spittler. from Republic using a 1922 Ford Coupe. It was bought new by P.T. Strong. Next, in a 1965 Mustang,